Hey there, you guys. I'm Ace1127, or as most of you know me, Andrew Ferris. And this is my success story. In order for you guys to understand my story, first we have to go back. Just a little bit back in time. Back to when I was in the scariest place of my life. High school was rough for me. Like a lot of other kids, I was picked on and I was called names. It didn't bother me that much. Just, you know, repetition works. To my surprise, I had already survived 2 whole years. I tell you what, I felt like I was on top of the world. Nothing could bring me down. Until one day, I heard some guys talking about the gym. How much weight they could lift, how puny guys like me would never be able to reach the goals and stuff that they've been able to do. I wanted that satisfaction. So, I made the plan. To eat right and work out. And with every plan, you have to have a starting point. So, I found mine. I stepped onto a scale, and what I saw scared the living heck out of me. You want to take a wild guess as to what I saw? I'll show you. 200 pounds? No. £285. I was in shock. Everything I had ever done had led me up to this point of wanting to start to work out. But whereas I felt like I was on top of the world for finishing 2 years of high school, suddenly I was on the bottom. Or even worse, I was the world that everybody was standing on top of. 285 pounds? How the heck am I going to get from there to where I want to be? Where all those other guys were. Lifting weights at the gym. Looking good in, well, pretty much everything they wore. My heart was shattered. So instead of letting that get me down like I knew it could, I gave myself 2 options. First one was to let it get me down. Probably gain more weight and just suffer. But no, I didn't choose that way. I chose the other way. and I let it motivate me to get rid of those pounds and to become the person I knew I wanted to be. That doesn't mean become one of those big, weightlifting, bulky guys that everybody looks at and says, I want to be like him. I admit I was no role model. I just wanted to be like those guys who went to the gym. Happy. So, I tried a few different things. Herbalife from one of my Taekwondo instructors. Advocare from someone I knew. And they worked really well. I was losing pound after pound after pound after pound. And I was feeling pretty great. But I wanted more. And keeping track of my weight, after 2 years, I no longer looked like this picture I'm going to show you now. That picture you just saw? That was me in my junior year at 285 pounds. I may not look it as some people say, or maybe you're thinking, you don't look that bad. But trust me, I did, and I felt worse. But after 2 years, I dropped a pretty good amount of weight. I was down to 245 pounds. Now, that may not seem like a lot to you, but let me give you a little example. The shirt I was wearing in the previous picture was an extra large. The pants, size 44. And the bad side of that is, they were too tight. So I should have been moving up to a 46. After the 2 years at 245 pounds, I was wearing a size large shirt, and it was kind of loose. Made me feel pretty good. And I was wearing a size 38 to 36 pants. If you think about it, I should have been in a size 46 in that picture. Now, I could fit into some 36 size jeans. That's 10 inches off my waist in 2 years. I knew I wasn't there yet, but I was back to feeling almost on top of the world. After graduating high school, I made a serious decision in my life. I wanted to join the United States military. But I felt like I still had too many pounds on me. So first, I went into an Army recruiter. took a test that they said would see how my mental capacity is. And I guess I did pretty good because I got, whoops. I got a 91. They said that was amazing, and I took their word for it. So I left the Army recruiter fully willing to go into the Army to serve our country. So, on the drive home, I decided to call my dad. And in that conversation, he told me he was proud of me. But then he asked me a very serious question. Why the Army? Now don't get me wrong, my uncle's in the Army. He's actually probably my idol because he's one of the buffest guys I know. He has 6% body fat. That's incredible. He does 1,000 push-ups every other day, followed by like a 6-mile run, and then I think it's like a 2-mile swim. That's crazy. My uncle is definitely one of my idols. So you would imagine my surprise when he told my dad, no. He knew I would be good in the Army. But with my brain power, that looks like Nemo, he thought I would be much better service in the United States Air Force. So I went to an Air Force recruiter, and they saw I was 245 pounds. They said that's too high. And after researching the Air Force, reading all of the descriptions, the job titles, everything that the Air Force had to offer, I really wanted it. I mean, the education alone could make me graduate with a degree in 2 years. I knew the Air Force was where I wanted to go. So, I made an even bigger change. I adopted a diet that a lot of people prefer to call the caveman diet. But it's actually paleo lifestyle. So you guys saw the picture from before, and it's been almost 3 years now. And I'm going to show you a different picture. This was taken today, 3 years later, but the crazy part is, I'm wearing the same clothes. In case you couldn't see, those clothes were really baggy on me. Very loose. I mean, when I put them on, I didn't even feel like I was wearing clothes. I felt like I just surrounded myself in a bubble. Like a force field that the Invisible Girl made from The Incredibles. Pretty crazy, right? When those clothes didn't used to feel like that. They were my prison. Not even that big of a prison. They were my prison that I barely fit into. Now I'm going to show you another picture. It's me now. In the clothes. Yeah, I know. Make fun of the kid in the Superman shirt. It's all good. I'm still a huge nerd. But you know what? 3 years ago, I was 285 pounds. And I've calculated it that I was at 24% body fat. Then, 2 years later, I was 245 pounds. At about 19 to 20% body fat. Today, I am 196.8 pounds. You want to take a guess as to what my body fat percentage is? 9%. Once again, I feel like I'm on top of the world. And you know what? I'm going to get to see everywhere I want in the world. Because I made the decision to go into the Air Force. I am ecstatic. But you know what? It gets lonely on top of the world. So I made this video to let you know that I can't be the only person up here. Everyone can reach their goal, no matter what it is. You want to be an actor? Go for it. You want to lose weight like I did? Do it. The only thing that's holding you back is yourself.